What's up, gentlemen? So hair is very similar to fragrance in terms of seasonality, right? There are certain fragrances that work better in the cooler months and some that work better in the warmer months, right? The fresher, lighter fragrances are going to be better suited for the hot temperature. Hairstyles are very similar. There are some hairstyles that you can get away with in the cooler months because of the amount of product that you're actually using, but in the summer things change because with the hot temperature, if you're using a lot of hair product, right, it's actually going to melt and make your hairstyle look worse. But there are some hairstyles that pair perfectly with the warmer months. Today, guys, I'm going over 6 of the best summer haircuts for men. Number 1, we're taking it simple, we're taking it short, and that is the buzz cut. In my opinion, the buzz cut is one of the most badass, sexy hairstyles a dude can rock. Unfortunately, the buzz cut only works and looks amazing on a few dudes. And by a few, I mean probably like 15 to 20% of guys look great because of a few things, all right? Number 1, your head should be relatively symmetrical, all right? If you've got some like big, lumpy cone head like I do, the buzz cut definitely is gonna work. If you've got pointy or big ears, it also doesn't look as good. The buzz cut looks amazing for guys that are typically very good looking. They also have a strong jaw because if you remove the hair and you've got a weak face or chubby cheeks, it's actually gonna accentuate the roundness and the fullness of your face and make your face look worse, all right? But if you're somebody that has strong like eyes, strong features, beautiful lips, a great smile, a strong structured nose, high cheekbones, right? Or a big, rugged, sexy jaw, you look amazing. The upside to the buzz cut, low maintenance. It also doesn't require any product. And the one thing that I would recommend, if you are somebody that is going to rock the buzz cut and you don't want to just go like one length, in my opinion, it looks a little bit better if it is faded slightly, right? Super short on the top, but the temples and the sides and the back, a low fade looks amazing. Or if you want to pair it with a little facial hair, it looks incredible. Or you want to rock a pair of badass frames, this also elevates the aesthetic of the buzz. Number 2 is the French crop or the Caesar, all right? So the Caesar and the French crop are very similar in terms of hairstyles. There's a lot of texture. Typically, you're gonna have a little bit of fringe in the front, right? You're gonna have some type of fading on the sides, but in my opinion, this is a perfect style for summer. Now, one pro tip I'd like to give you in terms of styling, if you are gonna be rocking some type of short, textured style, and you don't wanna use a lot of product, you should definitely check out this. It is a texturizing powder. The texturizing powder, guys, is the hottest product out there in terms of men's hairstyling. And the reason is because it's going to give you the ability to style, give you texture, a lot of volume, but it also doesn't look like you've got any product in it, right? The way that you use it is pretty awesome. All you do, right, sprinkle it in, dry hair, and simply work it in. Look at that. Look at that volume, right? In my opinion, the texture powder is a must-have for every dude this summer because it doesn't get all jacked up when you go out into the hot sun. You're gonna maintain the volume, you're gonna maintain the texture, and it's just a light, fresh way to give a hairstyle a lot more volume and texture without weighting it down or making it look oily or greasy. If you guys want to check out the texture powder, guys, by Pete and Pedro, hit the link down below. There's a limited time discount code. Go grab it. Every dude should try this, right? Even if you've got longer styles, which we'll talk about in a second, this texturizing powder is a game changer. It's quick, it's easy, it is absolutely effective. But you got to also remember not to use it in wet hair. You got to make sure your hair is dry before you apply. It's just so good. And you can use it on the third style, which is the side part. Gentlemen, the side part, in my opinion, is an old money aesthetic hairstyle that works every time on literally every single dude. Everybody, in my opinion, looks great with a side part. And the cool thing is that you can really play around and go with a bunch of different options, right? In terms of the look and the finish of the side part. You could go super tight and slick, right? But in my opinion, this is definitely not something you want to do in the summer because of the fact that you are going to need to use something like a pomade. It's going to be a little bit heavier and weight your hair down. But you could go with something a little bit lighter like I'm doing right now, right? I'm going with the side part. Still a little bit of volume on top, but you could also do like the side bangs or fringe. You can have a little bit of fringe, right? Or if you want to push it back, right? It's so incredibly versatile, and it really depends on the rest of the style, right? If you're gonna go and let the sides grow out a little bit, this looks awesome. Or if you wanna go with some type of fade, also appropriate. The side part is perfection. But if you wanna let that hair grow a little bit, go with the flow, gentlemen. The flow is, in my opinion, one of the sexiest styles out there, and it works perfectly for summer because you don't need a lot of product. Basically, it is allowing your hair to grow out, right? You're gonna push it typically back back off of your face, right? If you want to go with a little bit of side action or have some type of bangs or curtains, you can do this. But the flow is basically just letting your hair do what it wants to do. With the flow, you're letting your hair basically like just rock, right? It's not super polished, and that's the thing that I love so much about the flow. There are also a ton of different variations and options, but it also comes back to the products that you're using. You gotta use a product with the flow or else your hair is gonna be super flat, all right? One of the reasons why the flow looks so good is because it does have volume. It's got a little bit of PC separation, but it's a more casual style, all right? A must-have is a pre-style of the sea salt spray, guys. I'll also link to this down below. In order to get that volume, guys, and that texture in the flow, you gotta make sure you use a pre-styler like a sea salt spray, right? After the shower, a few squirts, and then dry your hair. If you want to apply a little bit of light product, something like a styling paste or a clay, perfect to give it a little bit of richness, a little bit of texture. And you can also use a little bit of texturizing powder, right? Sprinkle it all over and then just work it through, right? Push it back. All right, regardless of the style, regardless of the length, regardless of the way that you style it, the flow is amazing. But if you're one of the lucky dudes that actually has curly or super wavy hair, you're in luck, because this style that we're going to talk about, in my opinion, is one of the sexiest options out there, and that is the messy curls, right? And I'm not talking about like super tight, like broccoli hair. No, that looks terrible in my opinion, but allowing your hair to grow out, be a little bit more natural, be a little bit more wild. Gentlemen, this is, in my opinion, a perfect option for summer because it's playful, it's light, it's fresh, and it basically allows your hair to do what it wants to do, which is be awesome. And the last hairstyle, gentlemen, this one is a little bit more like kind of old school, old money, like Hampton sexy, all right? And that is the Slickback. The Slickback hairstyle, guys, taking it straight back, in my opinion, is sexy as hell. Now, a little pro tip, if you're gonna be rocking this style, you're definitely gonna need some product. I also would recommend using some type of high hold, low shine product. The way that I would style it, gentlemen, after the shower, all I would do is take a little bit of a high hold, low shine product like the soft putty, right? Emulsify it, put it in my hair all over, and then comb it straight back. Right now, if you want to use a hair dryer to kind of blow it into place, you could do that, or just let it air dry. And then when you're finished, right, just come back and push it back off of your face. The Slickback style, guys, it works, right? But it doesn't work on everybody. Once again, if you've got a very round face, it doesn't look as good, because one of the tricks is when choosing a hairstyle is to complement your face shape, to really accentuate the positive features and minimize the negatives. If your face is round or you've got chubby cheeks or a weak chin, by you taking all of the texture and the dimension away from your hair and your head, it doesn't look as good. And so in my opinion, if you're somebody that has an oval shaped face or a diamond face, or somebody that has more definition in terms of your cheeks are a little bit more hollow, or you've got strong bone features, this is something that you should try. And then throw on a pair of either Wayfarers or Club Masters, all right? Those two styles, in my opinion, are perfect for the Slickback style, right? Because those are the most classic, all right? The Wayfarers are amazing. They're the most timeless sunglass a guy can rock, but the Club Master, a little bit edgier, a little bit more like stylized, but it fits perfectly with an old school, old money aesthetic style like the Slickback. Guys, if you want to check out any of the products that I talk about, I've got a link down below along with the discount code. And if you're not sure what product is going to be best suited for you or your hair, guys, why don't you take the Pete and Pedro quiz, which I'll link to down below. We basically ask you a few questions to get an idea of what style you're going for, how much hold, how much shine, and then we will make a custom recommendation for you. And like I said, you've got that discount code down below. Bottom line is this, gentlemen, sun's out, guns out, and so are these badass cuts.